You know, guys, I gotta be completely honest. If I was a no good clickbaity YouTuber, I would have called this vlog I am sick of COVID, but I'm not actually sick of COVID. Or maybe I'm asymptomatic, I don't know. I've yet to be tested, but I've mainly just been sticking around at home, occasionally leaving the house to go on quarantine trips, which is basically when, like, the people you're seeing have been quarantined and you've been quarantined for a few weeks. I've done that, but occasional grocery trip, but I kind of miss the way things were. I mean, on one hand, yeah, there have been a lot of amazing perks of the pandemic. Like, for one, my wife gets to work from home now, which her business didn't used to allow for, and now she can. So we save a lot of money on gas, and there's been all kinds of relationships and friendships that I'm sure have been made by people staying home, and new job opportunities or business tactics that have not been possible before. There's been some gold in this transition, but at the same time, yeah, there's a lot of things I miss, and I thought I'd compile them in today's vlog and just talk about, for one, sitting down and just eating at a restaurant and not having to worry about masks and everybody just going out, having a good time, eating up their food, and we didn't really even think too much about the germs we were spreading. I kind of miss that, you know? It's happened occasionally, I guess, in the past year. There were a few times I went in places that had outdoor seating that were more spaced out, but still, even then, you gotta be careful. You gotta be overly cautious, and I kind of miss those days when we could all just kind of stop at the diner and not have to worry about the spread of the virus or anything like that. And the whole mask thing, you know, please, people, wear your masks. I mean, I do my best. There are obviously certain situations, like, you know, during the holidays when you keep your mask on when you're around people who could be susceptible to the virus. And even then, you know, you gotta be able to take the mask off when you're eating food or getting a drink or something like that. And it just creates this social awkwardness that is very frustrating sometimes, because I feel like whether I'm meeting with someone and I'm wearing a mask and they aren't, it's like, I'm not trying to say to you that I think you're infected and I'm trying to protect myself from you. No, in fact, the masks, I think their best use case is to prevent the spread going from me to you. So if I'm with someone who doesn't want to wear a mask or something, I don't want them to feel like I am repulsed by you or I'm grossed out by you. It's like, no, I am worried that I could spread something to you. That's why I'm wearing the mask. It's really, like, in your favor. I'm not trying to say that, like, you're wrong to not be wearing your mask, because if you ever stop by someone's place, it's like they're in their own household. So them wearing a mask in the place they're living all the time isn't going to make that big a difference, unless it's like the N95 kind that can filter out that type of thing. But most people these days are just wearing the basic masks that basically prevent you from spreading the virus, but it doesn't really stop that much stuff from getting in. It's a very complicated situation, and I hate how many conversations it's always having to take up. It's like, now anytime you talk to someone, you can't not talk about the pandemic, and you can't avoid the subject in conversation, especially when people like me and my wife are trying to wear masks. And it's not that we are very confrontive or like telling everybody you all have to wear a mask, but we're just trying to do our part to make sure that, you know, that there's loved ones we've seen in the past year and people of older demographics that of course could be very impacted, so we want to be careful. But at the same time, it's all just kind of annoying, this whole thing we're going through, right? Like, having to go through the social interaction of like, well, I'm wearing a mask, but that's okay if you don't want to, you know, you do your thing. It's just a big mess in so many ways, and there's so many things I miss doing. I miss big event time things, like big gatherings or parties and that kind of thing. I miss movie theaters and that type of thing. Going to a big movie premiere now feels like it's going to be kind of a thing of the past, or at least won't be the same. Where I live, at least, movie theaters are basically all shut down and no one's open, so that kind of kills any possibility of that happening. So it's, you know, it's a tough situation, and I'm not trying to say that we should start ignoring all of the precautions and stuff. In fact, where I live, cases are pretty bad, so we really do need to be careful. And, you know, sometimes I think to myself, wouldn't this be just a whole lot easier if we somehow found a way to lock everybody at home for a solid 2 weeks, let the virus do its thing, and then it dies off, and then we open everything back up and cases can drop to zero. But I'm sure it's not as simple as that. And the idea of being able to keep everybody in their home and stop everybody from interacting interacting with anybody else for that long of a period is probably just unrealistic, and it's not really going to happen. And there's obviously going to be some people that consider it not real, or they consider it all a hoax, and will just spread the virus and not wear a mask and go into certain places without masks. And I see them at the grocery store, and I'm just like, come on. How hard is it to just throw a mask on and call it a day? Like, even if you don't think it works, just do it anyway so that people around you can feel more comfortable. You know, I hate how divisive it's become, and the fact that it starts to become like a political subject. It's like, this really should not be political. It's just been like, hey, look, there's a sickness going around. Let's be more careful about it, okay? It's that simple. It really doesn't have to be like a controversial political thing, and yet that's what it's kind of become, which is annoying to me. So I'm looking forward to the future. There's no vaccinations where I am yet, but I would like to be vaccinated because I would love to not have to worry about this. But I'm just really hoping that in the future, none of my personal friends and family get infected and end up passing away because of the virus. And I've heard of it happening to so many people, and there's so many sad stories online about it. And I just hope it doesn't affect anyone I know too personally. But at the same time, you got to admit there's a lot of risk involved. And I'm just really, really hoping for the best, and hoping that we as a species can get through this. And it's been going on for like almost a year now, at least where I live. So it's sad that this has become kind of a new normal, but you know, it is what it is. So I miss a lot, but here's hoping for a better future. Anyways, feel free to let me know down below what you guys miss the most about things before the pandemic, and what you wish you could do one last time before this new normal set in. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.